So we've shown you what exactly happened at MIT. Mind you that Megha Vemuri was part of the commencement ceremony, wasn't part of the graduation ceremony because of a decision taken by the university. What about the federal government in America? I want to bring in Rohit Sharma, who's joining us live from Washington, D.C. on the kind of reactions we've seen. Rohit, good morning, first of all, on what happened at MIT. How has the Trump government really reacted to that? They've cracked down, of course, in an unprecedented way on the likes of Harvard. Is that now coming for MIT too?
Well, it possibly could. I mean, I think all universities have faced some kind of, I would say intimidation by the existing administration in terms of when it comes to protest and when it relates to anti-Semitism. I mean, we've seen what's going on with Harvard. But I think also after that video, when the Indian American girl Megha spoke, somebody, and I'm forgetting, I think it was the president from MIT, that she basically came on and said, this is not what this is supposed to be, the
Yeah.
speech and all that. So she was trying to like do a cover up after Megha spoke, trying to make sure that if this gets watched by anybody, that's not the official position of MIT, and they did not allow her to go on this, on her own speech off track from what she had submitted. So maybe, we do not know, Akshita, but the fact is, what we saw last summer and spring, the kind of protests that we saw at the universities, even the Biden administration was not happy with that. I mean, there are some people that believe that that cost President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris that election. So all in all, I think, because Megha is an American citizen, I don't think they could go after her. But clearly, I think the university is trying to do their best to sort of do the damage control right now.
There are two aspects to this debate or this conversation, which is one, that many believe that the Trump government has used this as a way to kind of gag universities, to gag free speech by cracking down on the likes of Megha and so many other students as well, particularly in Harvard. The other aspect to this, Rohit, is also perhaps all of the Israeli students there, the Jewish students, who have repeatedly said they feel unsafe in these campuses now. So how do you kind of reach middle ground amid that from the Trump government?
I 100% agree with that. There were so many people. We also saw videos of students walking out when she started speaking at the commencement. So yes, there has to be some kind of balance, and I think that has to honestly come from the universities and their policies and what they want to have on their campuses, and what constitutes as free speech under a First Amendment. And I think, to be frankly honest with you, Akshita, a lot of Indian Americans were up in arms, and they're saying that why didn't she use this opportunity to talk about Pahalgam attacks? I mean, as an Indian, you would rather do that, but that she chose to speak about something that I think she wanted to, again, off track. And I think the universities do have to have some kind of protocol as to what they can do or not. And then it is a wider conversation about what free speech means today in this world.
Very true. And it's a debate, of course, that continues, that's ongoing. And we'll see how really the administration, the Trump government, chooses to react to these wave of protests on one hand, by students, by student groups in universities, and on the other instance, like what we've seen in Colorado's Boulder. Thanks very much, Rohit, for joining us. Rohit reporting from Washington, D.C. there.